He got fired 8 months ago and hasn't told his family. He spends all day in a suit riding the train.
Too much backstory.
We also have a very old parrot, or you can kill my mother for money.
What?
I said we have a very old parrot. Why, did you hear something else you'd be open to?
Peter tries to exploit a workplace bereavement leave policy by adopting a pet that is about to die. At first, he tries his chaotic antics, such as trying to kill Brian by cutting his brakes, but his plan totally failed. Meanwhile, Stewie and Brian share a late-night exchange, where Stewie humorously critiques Lois's overstimulated breast milk.
Stewie, what are you doing up?
Lois had 3 lattes and a bottle of wine today, so her breast milk was basically a speedball. You?
Brian reveals his recent progress, having quit drinking and self-publishing a book. He invites Stewie to his book reading, which he reluctantly agrees to attend, as the book reading is filled with humorous anecdotes from the dog's perspective. The episode sprinkles in moments of quirky humor and satirical commentary, such as when Peter revealed his newly adopted 80-year-old pet, which Lois rejected strongly.
Peter, I don't want some elderly bird crapping all over the house.
Fine. If I can't have the parrot, you can only have 1 pink razor in the shower at a time.
You can have your bird.
Brian discovers that the copy of his book he gave to Stewie has been discarded in a little free library. As the show takes jabs at modern culture with moments like the joke about the little free library.
A little free library. How white people make giving away their trash seem like generosity.
This leads to a confrontation where Stewie, sarcastically, disagrees he gave away the book, sparking tension between the two friends. Meanwhile, Peter's newly adopted parrot reveals an unexpected and shocking backstory. The bird is German, and he once belonged to Adolf Hitler.
Und du bist wie mein dicker Vater!
His language is so weird. It sounds like anger, repressed sexuality, and a pig being shot by a paintball.
Peter, that's German.
On the surface, Brian and Stewie's conflict is humorous. But it also reveals Brian's vulnerability, who secretly seeks acknowledgement for his creative work, and Stewie's resistance to obligations he perceives as unnecessary. Their argument about the book's sentimental inscription brings in subtle commentary on relationships, and how people place different values on gestures or moments. Meanwhile, Brian takes the matter too far by bringing camera footage of when Stewie dumped the book, because he sarcastically denied it earlier.
Everyone on our street has a Ring camera.
Hello, I'm back. You guys were right. Murdering strangers is better than paying my credit card bill.
Brian's subplot underscores his ongoing battle for recognition and self-worth. His dramatic decision to throw out his laptop and seemingly abandon his dreams illustrates a blend of insecurity and pride, which is hallmark of Brian's character. The jokes about alternatives to writing, like using a phone or pen and paper, cleverly mock his overreaction and add levity to his struggle.
Couldn't you also still write in the Notes app on your phone?
I deleted that app.
Okay, but couldn't you still write using pen and paper? I mean, I'm sorry to keep pushing back on this. It just feels like throwing away the laptop is just unnecessary.
He later decides to give up on writing and life altogether after feeling unsupported by his friends, despite Stewie and Chris later admitting they liked his book.
Just get out of here and leave me alone forever.
Chris, I can see his gums. We'd better go.
When Lois learns that Gonzo once belonged to Hitler, she wants it out immediately, and chaos ensues.
Peter, if you don't get rid of that bird, I'm calling animal control.
You do that, and I'll make you pay.
How?
You ever hear of revenge porn, Lois?
Peter, if you did that, then everyone would see your penis.
I retract my threat.
In the end, Brian finds renewed motivation to write after his book garners attention in an Amazon niche category, offering a mix of satire and humor that typifies the show's style, as it provides a satirical commentary on modern publishing and validation in the digital age. When Lois discovers someone used her Amazon account to buy 3 whole copies of Brian's book, chaos ensues. as the purchase was made by Chris and Stewie to motivate him. In true dogged determination, Brian confronts Stewie, revealing his need for external validation, which is apparently as essential to him as a kibble.
Why do you even care? You're the one who said you don't need external validation. Of course that was a lie. All I care about is external validation. I'm a dog. Good boy is literally the best thing you can say to me.
Stewie, meanwhile, admits his jealousy over Brian's accomplishments is the main reason why he couldn't keep the book. As the heartfelt and hilariously petty therapy session disguised as an argument rolls, the episode hilariously reminds us that even Family Guy writers, and Seth MacFarlane himself, have authored books you've probably never heard of.
Gary Janetti kind of rings a bell.
Yeah, he's got a popular Instagram, so he kind of broke through. But the rest of them, bunch of bitter, Emmy-less losers.
Has Seth MacFarlane ever written a book?
Oh yeah,
How'd it do?
a signed copy is cheaper than a new one.
Meanwhile, Peter had to take Gonzo to safety away from animal control, who are after him. So, he took him to a synagogue, where he wants the rabbi to pass him as being okay and safe to society, believing that will make them back off. There, Peter discovers that Gonzo, the parrot, had been a pet of Adolf Hitler, but was only pretending to be a Nazi to survive the war, eventually revealing that the bird is Jewish.
My friend, your bird is Jewish! He only pretended to be a Nazi to survive the war!
Gonzo's Jewish?
The revelation about Gonzo's history is both absurd and quintessentially Family Guy. The twist, that the bird was Jewish and pretending to be a Nazi to survive, adds an unexpected layer to the comedy. It's a classic example of how the show uses dark humor to tackle historically sensitive topics while keeping the tone ridiculous enough to avoid being offensive. But Gonzo's newly found freedom didn't last very long, as he chokes while he sings in Hebrew, and joins in a Jewish celebration, which is a humorous attempt to absolve the bird's past.
L'chaim! Pretty dry. I think Gonzo lost his Chaim.
The Griffins, later, give him a bizarrely morbid, yet oddly fitting burial ceremony by flushing him down the toilet. And everyone, cramming into a bathtub, wearing their church shoes, in order not to mess it up with the toilet water.
Ew, Dad, you could have at least flushed before you put him in there.
We all grieve in our own ways.